And welcome everyone to the Gravel Trap Legends 1980s Improved Production Race at Mount Panorama. 1.5 hours of old school Bathurst. And we are just taking a look at the drivers as they complete their formation lap. This is a multi-class teams race, 2 drivers to a team, and each driver has paid their entry fee to compete today to a charity of their choice. The race has been publicised for mental health awareness, but it is also fantastic to see that other charities have been represented. Testament, I think, to the drivers have a personal connection with the organisations that they are representing tonight. It's a multi-class race with 3 different classes. Class A are the monster 1986 Chevy Opalas, 250 horsepower ocean liners. Class B are the Puma GTBs, powered by the same 4.1 straight 6s as the Opalas, and they've got about 30 horsepower less. And then there's the little Group Cs, made up of under 1.6 lead production cars. You'll see tiny Minis, Fiat Unos, Volkswagen Golfs and Puma GTEs in that group. The Minis have dominated qualifying and seem significantly faster than the other cars in class. But talking to the drivers before the race, the Minis are handicapped by a ridiculously small fuel tank and will be pitting 4 or even 5 times. Teammates in this race have to be in 2 different classes, and the boffins and race control will be keeping track of scores, and we should get some very interesting results in about 90 minutes time. The drivers are approaching the race start. Race control have signalled that the 30-car grid is in good order, and we're now just waiting on the lights to begin our 90-minute endurance, with Brett leading the field into Murray's. Dino is in second place behind Brett in the Opalas. In Class B, DDF is in the purple Are You OK car, and he will start ahead of his nemesis Darren, who will be driving the blue GTB. In Group C's, both the Minis, Cuckoo and Travis, will be ahead of Viperion in the orange Puma GTE. And we have a green flag, and we are racing, and Brett has a great start. He's on the power early. He's left the field a bit napping as we begin our 90 minutes for mental health. Back in 5th place, I can see Esky already has his I'm coming through headlights blazing as they head up the mountain for the first time. The Opala Ocean Liners leading the way. And it looks like all 30 cars have gotten away cleanly. Brett leading the Group A Opalas, DDF is still leading the Group Bs, and 2 white Minis leading the Group Cs. TB9 is already starting to mount a challenge on no frills for 4th place, ringing every last pony out of that Chevy up the mountain straight. The view from Dino's cockpit showing a good 50 metres to Brett out of Griffin's as they head towards the cutting, accelerating hard up the incline. DDF leading the Group B cars. Darren is close behind him. These two drivers are both very competitive and I'm expecting a close race between them. The GTBs are powerful, but the drivers describe them as sporty under brakes, so there will be some white knuckle moments coming down the S's and into the dipper. Darren and DDF have some unfinished business from the Gravel Trap Legends GT1 Road to Nord series, so we'll be keeping a close eye on them as the race progresses. And here come the minis. It's cuckoo in front, black bonnet with the Mates in Construction livery. The smallest engines on track tonight, just over 1 litre, but blisteringly fast, especially over the skyline. I know they come off the gas coming through the S's, but I don't think they actually touch the brakes until the chase. Front wheel drive, they just seem to have endless grip as long as the power is on. And looking at the lead they already have over the other Group C cars, I think that's exactly how they're driving them. Both drivers have done extensive testing. Although they are fast, they must get their fuel calculations perfect or they risk getting stranded. Every drop will count to these guys. And here come the Group C's as they drop down through Forest Elbow and onto Conrod. Kiz in the Black Dog Golf is chasing third place Viperion in that stunning orange Puma GTE. Fifth place is the bright pink Bell Cancer Australia Uno of Trui, and behind him in 6 is Mac Attack in the blue Fiat. These Group C cars are all under 1.6 litre, most of these cars making 120 to 130 horsepower. All tucked in behind each other, drafting down Conrod Straight behind Viper, whose Puma looks like it's got the best legs. He is stretching out a very small gap over Kiz, even with the draft. Kiz is the livery designer for all the cars on track at Bathurst today. Been a big job considering the number of different cars. Great job, Kiz, well done. As they come down into Murray's, Mac Attack is challenging Trui, holding the inside line into the final corner at Bathurst. The Group A's are already on top of the mountain. Brett looks like he's increasing his lead along Skyline. Dino in hot pursuit, balancing these heavy Impalas on the throttle. They are a very predictable car. I heard one of the GTL drivers, TB9 I think, say that he's never had a bad race in an Impala, and I expect these guys are having a great time out there today, throwing these tanks down into the dipper. The TB9 still trying to get past No Frills in third place as he chases Dino down through the S's. It's a long race, not taking too many risks in these early stages. But TB9 is under threat from Esky in the Headspace car, with John slow close behind him. Esky gets a good exit out of Forest, those passing headlights blazing in TB9's mirrors. And the leading GTBs come down through Forest. Darren is tight on DDF's back bumper, trying to force an error. DDF has a lot of experience in these GTBs now. He has just completed a Racing Life series on these machines on his YouTube channel. The GTBs are as fast as the Impalas down Conrod, touching 235 kilometres an hour just before the chase, and then it is carefully onto the brakes. They are very light in the back end and they move about a lot under heavy braking. And it looks like DDF might have opened up a gap down the straight, but no, Darren closes that right back up under braking. They gingerly get back on the gas and Darren is right back on DDF's back bumper. These GTBs only have half the fuel capacity of the Impalas, so we're definitely going to see a pit stop at some point from these two before this race is over. And Norbs in the Black Dog GTB comes down into Murray's as Stu pulls off into a very early pit stop. That has to be a problem. Well, that will give Woody in the Black Cancer Council GTB an easy 5th place in the Group Bs as they begin another lap. And back to the Minis, 115 horsepower, exactly half the power of the GTBs, and they are now running about 5 seconds behind the B-class cars, but that still puts them 4 seconds ahead of the other C-classes, who are coming through now. Viper in third, Kiz has dropped back to 6. Both Mac Attack and Trui are ahead of him. Something's happened up there on the mountain. I can't see any damage, but it has given Mark in 7th the chance to stay in the lead fight. And Mac has that little blue Fiat wound up and he's taking a look at Viper going into hell. He's got the inside line, he's going to take him. Puma is fast, but the Fiat got him under the brakes. Mac has taken Viper in a very tidy move there, but Viper now has the whole of Mountain Straight to fight back. I'm sure the streamlined GTE has the advantage here over the brick-like Fiat. Macatek will be leaning forward to the seat right now, trying to squeeze everything out of that little car. These Unos are all naturally aspirated. There is a turbocharged version, but in this class, all these cars are old school. Viper is keeping it tight in behind the Fiat, getting all the speed he can, but I think Macatek has the better brakes, unless Viper is feeling very brave. But I think Viper here is playing the long game, and Mac is going to keep third place through Griffins. And here is Stu in the Rural Support GTB. We saw him take a very early unplanned pit stop. He's now working his way back up through some Group C's. I had a chance to speak to Stu's crew chief, Jim, about what was the problem, and he said it was a fuel issue, but they have it all sorted now. And that means Stu has a lot of work to do now. He is easily half a lap down on the Group B's. But here is a good display of the speed difference. 230 kilometres an hour in the GTB makes for an easy pass down Conrod. Max Uno is doing 190 or 195 just before the chase. Brett is on Conrod again, and that gap to Dino is now widened to 3.5 seconds. Brett has that Opala flying. Dino is no slouch. If Brett is getting away from him, it's not from a lack of Dino pushing hard. Brett is doing clean 2:26 laps at the moment. It's a far cry from the lap record of 1:59, but that was in an Audi GT3. So 2:26 is fast enough for a 37-year-old ocean liner. The GTBs in Group B are doing 2:33s, and the Group Cs are averaging about 2:52s or thereabouts. Except for the Minis, of course, who are absolutely flying around Bathurst today. The Opalas should make the 90 minutes without refuelling, but it will be tight. Whereas the Minis have already done their first of about 4 pit stops today to refuel. And there is action from Darren as the GTBs come onto Conrod Straight. He has a good run on DDF. These two are both excellent drivers as they go side by side through the chase at 235 kilometres an hour and hard onto the brakes. Great move from Darren. DDF will not like that. He wants the win today. These guys are fiercely competitive through the recent GT1 series, and I feel there is still unfinished business between them. And Steve is still there in third place, hanging on behind them. Just to stay with these two drivers is an achievement itself. He'll be working very hard, I imagine. He's a late entry into this race, and he's not had a lot of seat time in that orange GTB. Travis drafting behind Cuckoo in the chase, and Cuckoo is running wide. Yes, he's on the grass there, and that might just be enough for Travis if he is alert, and yes, he is. Travis says thank you very much and takes Cuckoo for first place in the Group C's. Cuckoo gives him heaps of room, although that's probably not necessary. You could fit 4 or 5 minis across that track. Cuckoo slots back in behind him. Maybe that was on purpose. He can now save fuel drafting Travis for a spell. On board with Steve coming through the dipper, still holding station in third behind DDF and Darren. He's probably playing it pretty smart here. He's teamed up with Brett, who is currently leading the Opalas, so third place in the B class is a strong position. Though if he keeps driving like that, he will be lucky to keep third. I think it shows how hard he is pushing to keep up with those two drivers ahead. Mountain Straight and the Minis are glued together. However, I think Cuckoo might have a good tow here, and he is making a move. Both cars flat out up to Griffins, and I think Cuckoo has this. They really don't have to slow down here, and Cuckoo retakes the Group C lead as they head back up the mountain. They've not really been more than about 50 metres apart this whole race so far, just swapping the lead between themselves, completely ambivalent to the rest of the field. Bathurst is just their own private battleground today. Monkey in 7th place, chasing Gambit up through Griffins. Monkey is putting the pressure on Gambit, and there is traffic ahead. It is Chris from the Group C's in a GTE. He very politely gets out of their way and lets them get on with their fight. Gambit will want to keep 6th place here if he can. Gambit is teamed up with Macatek. He's currently running 3rd in the Group C's, driving that bright blue Fiat Emu. So they are doing very well on points at the moment. Monkey is only an occasional driver with GTL, but Gambit here is a solid regular. Both very good drivers, showing lots of respect for each other across the skyline, and both thoroughly enjoying throwing these monster Chevys around. They're both still setting 2:27s, very respectable lap times for the stage of the race. No sign of Monkey's teammate, Mark W, another Group C driver. He looks like maybe he might be a retirement. As they pass the orange Chevette of Unicorn, as they come onto Conrod, Unicorn is currently 8th place in Group C. He'll be 24th overall. And that there is a very battered looking John Slow. He has had some trouble somewhere. He's running in 8th place. He started in 4th, so he has definitely had some trouble somewhere on the mountain. He works his way around Chris P's White Lion GTE and he winds it up down Conrod Straight. The GTEs are a very pretty little car, the emphasis on little. With the helmet on, most of the drivers still have to tilt their heads sideways. And it looks like Chris is the centre of attention right now. Darren and DDF bearing down on him for the fight for the lead in the Group Bs. They are still neck and neck. And I can still see Steve hanging in there in 3rd place. It really looks like DDF has got some hustle on. He's all over the back of Darren, trying to force an error. Of course, trying to rattle Darren is like trying to rattle a rock. Darren does not make many errors no matter how hard you pressure him. As they cross the line and begin another 6.3 kilometres. The lead Group A is coming down through Forest Elbow, working through the Group Cs. Brett's still leading, but it looks like Dino has closed right back up on him. Very congested bit of real estate there, but Eski looks like he got a very good exit from Forest. There might be an opportunity on no frills here. The Group C's all trying to keep out of the shipping lane. True, he got a bit stuck on the right while Viper is tucked in on the left and Eski is flying. I think No Frills has got a bit slowed down by traffic. They all did because Eski is challenging Dino too, and what a move, 2 passes, and he is right on Brett's back bumper. That was great traffic management from Eski, and that's what makes multi-class racing so exciting. Eski's passing headlights working the charm. Eski is now 2nd, Dino 3rd and No Frills 4th. Travis is leaving pits, and this is the first time we've seen the minis separated. Cuckoo must have pitted the lap before, knowing how critical fuel is. This could be interesting later in the race. As Travis exits pits right beside Cuckoo, and there's Group A traffic right behind them. That is Gambit in 6th place. He goes right between them up Mountain Straight. Looks like Cuckoo has the lead, but this is where the other Group Cs have already passed the minis while they were both pitted. That is Tree up ahead in 3rd place in the pink Fiat. And right behind them is Monkey, that's 7th place Opala. That is a very crowded racetrack. Everyone is caught up in their own battle. There is no way anyone's getting out of the way. You cannot lose a second to politely move out of the way when things are this close. So that makes Cuckoo 4th, Travis 5th, and Kiz in the Volkswagen Golf in 6th place. And that's a replay of Gambit threading the needle, Kiz, Travis, and Cuckoo. DDF ahead of Darren, that's 1st and 2nd in Group B, coming down through the chase. No sign of Steve in 3rd place. They're coming up on Mac Attack. Now he is still the leader of the Group Cs, but with different pit stops. That is only a provisional position, of course. Darren and DDF have so far shared the lead exactly equal number of laps. The GTBs will not be very far off a pit stop. They only carry 55 litres, which might give one of these 2 drivers finally an opportunity to get some clear track. Mac Attack in the bright blue Fiat crosses the line. He is 3 seconds over Viperian in the orange GTE, although he is about to be swamped by the scrapping minis. It must be frustrating for these Group C drivers to finally pass these 2 in their frequent pit cycle, only to watch them fly past again. The minis launch an attack into 2nd place Viperian, going into Griffins. Viper is running a very low risk strategy tonight. He isn't fighting the minis. He's playing the long game, just racing himself out there and bringing that car home safely. That yellow GTE is a Volkswagen Boxer power plant, only weighing about 900 kilograms. Up ahead of the minis in 1st place is a very important driver we do need to mention. Leading the Group Cs in the blue Fiat is Mac Attack. Gravel Trap Legends Charity Race is his baby. He was the designer and put the whole show together. 32 drivers, charitable donations, teams. Mac Attack and his organising team did a great job. Speaking with some of the drivers, we already know they're having an absolute ball out there, and they're already asking when the next event is going to be held. Such a great bunch of guys and some very generous donations made to some really good causes. DDF is streaming his race and he's accepting donations to his charity Are You OK? I checked in earlier with that stream and it's already made a substantial amount of money. Other drivers are Mark and Max Power, who we've not seen a lot of on screen so far. They donated their time to their favourite charity, SA Brothers. Apparently they spent a weekend helping out with that organisation. Another GTR regular driver, Gunner, could not make the grid tonight, but he paid the entry fee anyway. Just great spirit here, good people supporting good causes, and of course, great racing. No Frills chasing Gambit over the skyline. No Frills in the Black Dog Institute Group A Opala running 6th place. He has been chasing down Gambit in 5th for a couple of laps now. The Opalas have burnt off over half their gas and they're becoming a little bit more agile for an ocean liner. Down through the Dipper, No Frills right on Gambit's tail. There are some Group C traffic up ahead that could help No Frills or it could slow him down. You really cannot plan much. You just need to stick to your line and hope that they stick to theirs. It looks like they'll catch Kiz and the Volkswagen Golf on Conrod, which will suit them all. The slower Group C drivers just want to let the faster cars past as quickly and as safely as possible so they can get on with their own race. There's a lot of pressure on the slower class drivers. They're battling fast cars behind them. Kiz is currently in 2nd place in the Group Cs and we're expecting most of that class to be pitting in the next couple of laps. No Frills is all over Gambit down Conrod. He is tucked up tight in the draft and he is flying. That's 235 kilometres an hour. That's Mac Attack ahead of them. They manoeuvre past him. No problems there as they make the run down towards Murray's. Mac Attack is in the pit lane. This will be a scheduled stop for him. Fuel and tyres at the halfway point. No Frills still stuck to the back of Gambit. He might have a chance here. He has the pace. And he has the inside line going into hell. Who has the better brakes? This will be tight. Side by side at 150, 160 kilometres an hour. On the brakes, Gambit is wide on the right. He will have the better line. But No Frills has the corner. He is wide on exit. That's a bit untidy, but he holds it together. It's cost him speed, though. Gambit will have a chance to come back here. Gambit's on the outside. No Frills has the inside as they drag race up Mountain Straight. Neck and neck. No Frills probably has the advantage here. He's got a nose ahead. They want to sort this out before they get to the cutting and things get a bit narrow, but Gambit has got this. From the inside, Gambit's going to retake 5th, back up the mountain. And No Frills gets to try and do that all over again. I am in absolutely no doubt that both of these drivers are grinning their faces off right now. Good, close, respectful racing. They'll keep this up until they run out of fuel or someone waves a flag at them. The battle for 5th place continues. And that is Kiz. He has inherited 1st place from Mac Attack as he pitted, but that looks like Cuckoo closing out behind him in the Mini, which means Travis is probably close by too. And Brett in 1st place and Esky in 2nd, the Group A leaders coming up Mountain Straight. 50 minutes gone now, 14 minutes remaining, and Brett has been in the lead since the start. Brett is teamed with Steve, currently the 3rd place holder in Group B. Esky in the orange Headspace car is one of the senior members of GTL. He's an Adelaide-based driver and with a soft spot for old Escort race cars. He's a fierce competitor and I expect Brett is in for a challenge here. Esky is teamed with Trui. He is racing in the pink Fiat Uno supporting Bowel Cancer Australia. Currently running 4th position in Group C. If Esky can make some ground on Brett here, they might just be in a good position to win this event. They snake their way through the S's, careful on the brakes. Esky is right up on Brett now. He is definitely getting scrappy here. Brett will see this too, of course. Esky is setting up for a move onto Conrod. Both drivers will be looking ahead now for slower traffic. Well over halfway through the race, so it's time to shift from that safe to more competitive racing. Both cars, 250 horsepower, 230 kilometres an hour, straight 6, 4.1 litre Chevy engines. This is going to be close. Into the chase. This is where Esky took 2nd earlier in the race. Is this where he takes the lead? Absolutely. Esky takes the lead at Bathurst in the Headspace Opala. Great driving, great move. And that's the 2 minis coming up Mountain Straight. Cuckoo in the lead. That's the greatest distance I've seen between them in 55 minutes so far. Travis running about 100 metres behind Cuckoo. And between them, that is the Opala of No Frills, running in 7th position in Group A. The Opala is a big car to fight through traffic over the skyline, but these minis don't present too much of a bother. I'm not sure they even notice anyone else is on track most of the time. It's a two-way mini battle for the win as far as they seem to care. Conrod and first place Esky is level with first place Darren. Opala and GTB leaders head to head down the descending straight. Both cars have about the same top speed, and it's really evident here they both share virtually the same power plant. No sign of second place DDF, however. He's still on track, maybe held up by traffic on Skyline. All the GTBs have pitted already, so he should not be far behind. And there he is, the purple car coming into view now, maybe 5 seconds behind. That has to be traffic on the mountain, as DDF himself says, traffic giveth and traffic taketh away. Oh, and this is exciting. First place Esky and first place Darren coming up on first place Macatak. All the class leaders in one place. A simple dumb mistake here and it could totally change the race for 29 other drivers. Macatak might not have first for too long, however, as both minis have just come out of pits. We are 67 minutes now and those two cars are still locked together, nose to tail. In fact, this could be a headache for DDF. Two close battling minis is a bigger obstacle to pass going back up the mountain. Darren is already through, so this will not help DDF in regaining ground against the class leader. Cuckoo and Travis have closed up on Macatak. That's 3 cars for DDF to contend with as they head into the cutting. He might be able to do something up on the Skyline, but these 3 are fighting for the lead. They will have their eyes locked forward at the moment, and there is nothing DDF can do about it. Or maybe he can. He pokes up the inside of Travis. That is 1 down, but Cuckoo and Mac are now side by side, sunning their eyes into Reed Park. Oh, this will be killing DDF. He is trapped behind Cuckoo. Mac on his outside. He has nowhere to go. You can only watch Darren getting away from him. DDF will be losing precious seconds. Not Cuckoo's fault. He is fighting his own battles. DDF is clear now. He will have the hammer down and be back on the chase, while Cuckoo will be hoping that Macatak can hold Travis at bay for a few seconds. Cuckoo and Travis are both Kiwi drivers. Travis races superbikes as a hobby, so the Mini probably feels enormous to him while negotiating through traffic. Cuckoo has led the most laps out of the pair, but by reports from his pit crew, he is alternatively loving racing the Mini and panicking about his fuel calculations as the race nears its finish. Macatak on Conrod Straight with a Mini in front of him and another Mini in his mirror. As I mentioned earlier, Macatak is the organiser of this race, and I only hope he's been able to take off his organiser's hat and actually enjoy himself. Actually, watching him now fight back against Cuckoo, I believe he has and he is enjoying this. Little Uno showing some legs against the Minis on this long straight. Just not long enough though, and now it's Travis making a move on his outside as they begin the run down to Murray's. A good fight from Mac, and it is working in Cuckoo's favour. Travis is having trouble getting around Mac. After 70 minutes of racing nose to tail, he has to keep Cuckoo in close range, as they're both so evenly matched that he just won't be able to catch Cuckoo back up again if he loses sight of him. TB9 coming up through the cutting. That's Dino very close behind, lights blazing. TB9 in 3rd place, Dino in 4th. And that is Lou up ahead of them in the blue Chevette. He keeps well out of their way as they climb back up the mountain. The sun getting very low, the drivers are getting an eye full of it as they come up through the cutting. A quick look at the view from Travis's office window as he comes around Quarry Corner. It's fairly distracting. Oh, and while I am distracted by the sun, Dino has taken TB9. That puts Dino up into 3rd place, and he has a good run down Conrod. That is Truey they've just passed. He is holding 7th place in the Group C's. Something else I have just noticed is Macatak. He appears to be only doing a 1 pit stop strategy, which explains the very healthy gap he's currently holding over the rest of the Group C's. That's Darren leading the GTBs, passing Mac now. There is only 10 minutes to go in the race. This could be very interesting to see if Macatak can make full distance. I think this could be tight for him. The Minis are still hard at it, Cuckoo leading the way. They have done their last pit stop now, so that's 5 pit stops each, and I think Cuckoo will be able to stop worrying about fuel now and just enjoy his racing. Up ahead of them is DDF. He is now 18 seconds behind Darren. That's just been rotten luck in this last half of the race for him. Where Darren has slipped through traffic, DDF has caught every single car on a corner or through the S's, and it's just slowed him down. I don't think I've seen him have an easy pass yet. There's also a big scrape mark down the right hand side of his car. He may have had a bit of a misadventure with the Bathurst wall at some stage also. However, DDF has been a great competitor and a great sport, and I don't think coming second place will upset him too much. DDF's stream has raised a lot of money for his charity, Are You OK? And I've caught a bit of a stream and has had a great time too. He certainly has given 110% the whole distance. Good on you, DDF. First place Esky in the Opala. He is only a couple of laps now from taking the win here at Bathurst. 5 seconds clear of Brett. And here is Brett now, coming down Conrod. Looks like he's passing Pixel in the Beyond Blue GTB. And third placed Opala Dino, getting it a bit loose coming out of Forest Elbow. His tyres will be getting well past their best by now, but they don't have to last much longer. He just needs to keep it on the track to stay ahead of TB9 in fourth place. And Steve in the third position GTB, a trouble-free run from him. He has kept it on the track, and along with his teammate Brett, second place in the Opalas, they should be looking at an overall win, or at least second today. And Mac Attack first in Group C. He is on a risky fuel strategy. His teammate Gambit is currently fifth in the Opalas. I think Mac is fuel saving now, as his lap times have definitely dropped off. And the Minis are catching up on him. They are only 6 seconds behind. But they may be doing some fuel saving as well, as their lap times are a bit slower. We could be in for an exciting finish here in the Group Cs. And Travis has taken second place from Cuckoo. Maybe he does not need to save as much fuel as Cuckoo does. They are about to start what should be their second to last lap, and Travis is definitely pulling away. Travis is teamed up with Dino, third place in the Opalas. This could be an overall team win for them. Cuckoo's teammate is already DNF'd, so Travis has more to play for if he can just catch Mac Attack up the road. And Esky is on the skyline. He should get one more lap after this. A personal win for him today, but I don't think his team Rust Bucket Racing will be able to get the overall win. But that's taking nothing away from this drive of Esky's. It's been a great clean race, and he has really earned this win. Darren in the leading GTB, another man who has earned his win tonight. He has made multi-class racing look easy. Darren is teamed with 4th place TB9. They are definitely in contention for the win. And DDF in second place. Oh, DDF gets it all crossed up through the S's. Those GTBs are a handful on good tyres, so that was nearly a late race disaster for DDF. But he's okay, just one more lap to go. I bet that woke him up a bit. He can probably relax a bit as he's got a good safe lead over third place Steve. No need to take risks now. But it's all action for the Group C's on Conrod. That is Cuckoo passing a very slow Mac Attack. That is Cuckoo passing an out of fuel Mac Attack. Just over one lap to go, and Mac Attack is freewheeling down the Conrod straight. That is a disaster for him. The Uno is out of the race. Travis is now first Group C and Cuckoo is second. The Minis race on. Last lap, barring disaster, the Group A Opala's running order is pretty solid. Esky, Brett and Dino first, second and third, and the top 3 Group B GTOs are unlikely to change. That's Darren, DDF and Steve in that order. This battle for the Minis will very likely decide the overall team points. And Cuckoo is back on the attack. Nothing is decided yet. Fuel saving is obviously over now for Cuckoo. It's a last lap charge and Cuckoo retakes the lead of the Group C at Bathurst. Well, that changes things again with Mac Attack now freewheeling down Conrod. That puts Travis second with Dino. Team check on your mates may have just lost the overall lead. And now Viperian is in third place. Viper, of course, is teamed with no frills in their Opalas. I'm going to need some fresh paper to work out these scores here, but DDF and Woody are scoring well. They're giving gears. Steve and Brett are looking solid with a second and third place, and the TB9 and Darren's team, the UFOs, are very close in points. And there are some extra points on offer also for fastest lap in class, but for the moment the race is still on at Bathurst. Travis is well off the pace now. Is he fuel saving? He is definitely slowed up going up the mountain. A big puff of flames out the back. It does not look good. I think Travis is out of fuel. Travis is out of fuel. He is coasting. That is it for Travis Sandino. He was half a lap off. If he could have made it to the top of the skyline, he could possibly freewheel it down Conrod, but now he will have to park it there. That will promote this man, Kiz, to third place in the Black Dog Golf, and Viper in the Orange GTE will take second place. What a massive shake-up in just half a lap. Everyone is now on their last lap and just bringing it home. Kiz is following Lou. He is a lap down. In the background you can see Group C leader Cuckoo first and third, almost a lap apart at the conclusion of the GTL Bathurst Charity Race. And what an action-packed race. 32 drivers, 6 retirements, 2 in the last 5 minutes. Hundreds of dollars raised for some great causes. 3 winners, Eski in the Orange Headspace Opala, Darren in the Beyond Blue GTB, and Cuckoo in the Mates for Construction Mini. Race control are giving me some information now, and it's a tie for the overall win. They're giving gears. Steve third in his Orange GTB and Brett second in the Beyond Blue Opala will share the podium with the UFOs. That's Darren in first, Beyond Blue GTB and TB9 in fourth with the fastest lap in both teams. That is a dead heat. DDF and Woody will take second place. DDF in second and Woody in fourth. A great result there. And that is the end of our coverage of the Gravel Trap Legends Bathurst charity event. Huge thanks to Macatak and his team for organising, and Kiz for his work on the liveries, and of course to everyone who donated and supported those great charities. Good on ya.